Welcome to Learn Mathematics with Moni. Get your books and pen and get ready to learn. Okay, now we want to look at percentages of quantities. The first example we have there is asking us, what is 10% of 50? 10% of 50. Of in mathematics is seen as multiplication. So let's do that. We'll just interpret that word problem. 10% of 50. 10% means 10 over 100. I hope you remember that. Of is multiplication, and this is 50. I'll call it 50 over 1 because it's a whole number. Then we check among the numerators for common factors with the denominator. 50 is a common factor of 50 and 100. So I can say 50 divides 50 once, 50 divides 100 two times. 2 is a common factor of 2 and 10. 2 divides 2 once, 2 divides 10, 5. So that I end up having 5 times 1 over 1 times 1. 5 times 1 is 5 over 1 times 1, which is 1. 5 over 1 is a whole number, which is 5. That means 5 is 10% of 50. This is how you solve any question of this nature. Look at the second example we have. Express 15 as a percentage of 80. This is different from here. Expressing 1 as a percentage of another. When you see questions like this, I want you to quickly in your mind insert out of here, somewhere here. You just write out of. That is, express 15 as a percentage out of 80. Let me move that a little so that you can see clearly. This was the question. Express 15 as a percentage of 80. Then in your mind, you insert out of. That means 15 out of 80. 15 out of 80 as percentage. That is the question. That is the interpretation of the question. 15 out of 80 as percentage. So let's do it. 15 out of 80, that means 15 over 80. It's just like you gave somebody 80 questions to answer and the person scores 15. That is 15 out of 80. How do you record such mark? You write it as 15 over 80. That is 15 out of 80. Now, as a percentage, you multiply it by 100% over 1. Then we look out for common factors to divide. 5 is a common factor of 15 and 80. 10 is a common factor of 180. I think let's go with 5 first. 5 divides 15 3 times. 5 divides 80 16 times. Looking at 116, 2 is a common factor, 4 is also a common factor. Let's go with 4. 4 divides 16 4 times. 4 divides 100 25 times. So we end up having 3 times 25%. 3 times 25% over 4 times 1. 3 times 25% is 75%. Over 4 times 1 is 4. So we have 75% over 4. We can change that into a mixed number where we have how many 4 in 7? That is 1, remainder 3. Putting that 3 in front of this 5, you have 35. How many 4 in 35? In 35? 4 in 35, that is 8, which is 32. And it will remain 3 over 4%. So you can either leave your answer as 75 over 4%, or you change it into a mixed number, which is 18 wholes 3 over 4%. Of course, this can also be expressed as decimal. I hope you know that. 18 wholes, that is 18. How many 4 can we get from 3? We can't get. We put invisible, we put a decimal point and an invisible 0 behind that 3. So it is now 30. How many 4 can we get from 30? That is 28, which is 7. And this will remain 2. We put an invisible 0 behind the 2, making it 20. How many 4 can we get from 20? That is 5. So 18 wholes 3 over 4% is the same thing as 18.75%. Let's take the third example.
You need to pause right now. Go right now and subscribe to my channel. Click on the notification button so that you can be notified anytime I drop new lesson. Thank you.
The third example is also similar to the second. What percentage of 315 is 7? You insert out of. This means what percentage out of 315? What percentage out of 315 is 7? This is very basic, and you should always try to remember it. It will make your work with percentages easier. So let us express 7 as a percentage out of 315. A child is given 315 questions, and such a child, very poor, scores 7 out of 315. How do we record such mark? That is 7 out of 315 as a percentage. That is the interpretation of that question 3. 7 out of 315, that is 7 over 315 as a percentage times 100% over 1. Then we look for common factors that we can use to divide. Let us look for common factors. I can see a common factor between 7 and 315, which is 7. 7 divides 7 once. 7 divides 31, that is 28, which is 4 times. I hope you agree with that. 7 times 4, that is 28, and it will remain 3. You put that 3 in front of that 5, you have 35. How many 7 in 35? That is 5. We have finished dividing that. Then between 100 and 45, 5 is a common factor. 5 divides 45 9 times. 5 divides 100 20 times. So we end up having 1 times 20%. Don't forget this percent is here. Over 9 times 1, which is 20% over 9. Your answer is acceptable that way, but if it is a multiple choice question and you can't find your answer that way, then you can take it further to represent your answer as a mixed number. How many 9 do I have in 20? I have 2, which is 18, and it will remain 2. Put an invisible 0 behind that 2, it is becoming 20 again, and that will still be 0.2. It will still remain 2, which means I'll keep on having 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, and I can just end it at 2 decimal places. That's 2.22%. Or better still, as a mixed number. How many 9 in 20? I have 2 whole number, remaining 2 over 9%. So if it is a multiple choice question and you have your answer as 20 over 9%, you can choose it. If you can't find your answer as 20 over 9%, you can take your answer further to 2.22% or 2 wholes 2 over 9%. And that is the basic way of expressing percentages of quantities.
Thank you for learning mathematics with Moni today. Do you know you are free to share my videos with your classmates, your colleagues, your friends, your cousins? Do that right now and be a blessing to them and to me.